Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and you're like, what's the clickbait, Zeddy? Everything's changing. What's the big change? And you're probably gonna be mad when I say it's the standard rotation, but hear me out in why it is going to be one of the biggest changes in Hearthstone history. Before we do that, I just want to say again, you guys keep subbing. We're nearly at 60% of all viewers subbed when we're nearing 42,069 subs. We gotta hit that goal. It would be awfully nice. Anyway, so what am I talking about? If you aren't aware, if you're somehow, you live under a rock, you don't know how Hearthstone works, every year 3 expansions rotate to Wild, and this year, coming up in, it'll probably be in April or late March, we are going to see 3 of the most busted expansions ever rotate. This is going to be a monumental decrease in power leaving the game, and even will destroy certain decks that people really don't like right now that even revolve around certain quests. And I just want to go through and show you guys some examples of the insanity that will be leaving standard this year. It will just be incredible. The landscape's going to be completely different. And there's even rumors, like Ixar himself has said, they might do mass nerfs. They might even do more than that. So we're going to go through expansion by expansion, highlight some of the most broken stuff leaving, as well as we're not even going to mention the core set, which will be changing, and who knows what they'll take out. So starting off with Ashes of Outland, I mean, right out the gate, you've got Demon Hunter, which is absolutely was busted, but you can see certain cards like Kane will be leaving. Skull of Gul'dan, a world without Skull of Gul'dan for Demon Hunter will be something incredible to see. But overall, most of the cards that were insane in Demon Hunter have been nerfed. Like if you like, look how many were nerfed. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of these cards just from Ashes of Outland were nerfed. So it won't be as impactful, but still, Demon Hunter losing a ton of stuff. And then you look at Druid. Look at Ashes of Outland alone. You have Fungal Fortunes and Overgrowth leaving. Druid has relied on these cards extensively over the past 2 years. And I can't even imagine what Druid's going to look like without Overgrowth. Of course, there's going to be replacement cards for all this stuff, but still, regardless, absolutely nutty. As well as Glowfly Swarm will be leaving. It's just Druid is going to be a whole different creature. You look at Hunter, they're losing Imprison Thelma and I guess Apex Predator, but not much. But Mage, take a look at Mage. You have Solarian Prime leaving, you have Evocation leaving, and because I disenchanted it, you have Incanter's Flow also leaving the game. With Paladins, you have the entire Libram archetype leaving with all the Libram cards, which are just insane. Hand of Adal, just an insane card. Paladin is going to be in a rough spot if you take a look what they're losing. But again, think about the impact of all of this. Priest losing Renew, Sethic Veilweaver, Soul Mirror, like just incredible tools. And then you got Rogue. Rogue gets a little bit more busted later, but they're losing the whole secret package. Shaman losing an incredible tool set with spells like the Portal, 1 minute deal 8 with Torrent, Lurker from Below, and Warlock. Well, they're losing Darkler, which hasn't been too relevant for a while. And then of course Warrior losing some good control stuff, but again, control's been dead, so it won't be as impactful. But then we have Skullomance, and this is where things get absolutely broken. For well, Quest Demon Hunter in particular will lose a good amount of stuff with Philosophy, Double Jump, Glide. So like that OTK deck is losing a ton of good stuff. Also losing the whole Soul Fragment stuff, which I love, but hasn't really been a meta player. And then you look at Druid. Look at what Druid is losing. It actually boggles the mind of how insane it is. Lightning Bloom, utterly broken. Nature Studies, incredibly flexible. You have the whole Beast package with Twilight Runner, Teacher's Pet, Guardian Animal, Survival of the Fittest. So many incredible Druid cards. Like, what? Druid's got nothing left, it feels like. They're gonna have Guff, but nothing to do with the mana, and it gets even worse in Dark Moon Fair. Hunter loses a ton of good Face Hunter stuff with Wolpertinger leaving the game, and Adorable Infestation, as well as Demon Companion. All very good early game cards that Face Hunters thrived with. And then Mage. Mage loses Wand Thief, as does Rogue. Devolving Missiles, Cram Session, Primordial Studies, like Mazaki, just an incredible amount of insane cards. Jandis will be going. Paladin loses a ton of good stuff as well with Lord Bara, Blessing of Authority, Devout Pupil. It is just going to be an incredible rotation. Even Priest, look at Raised Dead. Raised Dead's going to be leaving the game. You got Flush Giant. Apparently it's a Priest card leaving the game as well. And then Rogue. Rogue will be, it's just, it's nuts. It's actually nuts. Secret Passage. Again, we said one thief, cutting class, 0 mana, draw. They're losing like all their cheap draw. With Passage leaving, with cutting class leaving, Rogue is basically going to have to rely on Field Contact and Octobot. Of course, pending replacement cards in the next expansion. But again, it's going to be hard to replace even like any of this with one expansion unless they go absolutely crazy. Please don't, Blizzard. And yeah, Shaman again, Lightning Bloom, Instructor Fireheart, Diligent Note Taker. Just incredible amount of cards. But here's also one thing that's going to be really good. You hate the Demon Seed. They're losing Raised Dead. They're losing Flesh Giant. They're losing an incredible amount of tools. And unless it gets more support, the Demon Seed's not really gonna be able to survive, and especially again in Darkmoon Faire. And we can just skip ahead to that. Rattlegore's leaving. That makes me sad. The whole big warrior thing is leaving, and even the neutrals in Skullmance. I didn't really go over it in the last expansion because it wasn't that crazy. But we're losing Broomstick. Torguide is incredible. Pinflinger was Cult Neophyte. Intrepid Initiate. Look at all these 1-drops and 2-drops. They've all seen play. Panthera, Wandmaker, Sneaky Delinquent. An incredible neutral set in this expansion. Lorekeeper Polkel. Skullmance leaving alone. Just this expansion alone is one of the most impactful changes ever. But even Darkmoon Faire, we're seeing like some good, even control cards like Armor Vendor leaving. We got the whole Old Gods leaving the game. That's been super impactful. Basically kills off Big Druid entirely. All the Old Gods leaving the game. But again, look class by class, the power level is incredible. Demon Hunter, not as much because it's been struggling, but Il'gynoth leaving. Still an OTK DH. You're losing expendable performers as well as Deadeye, which was, an OTK with the hero card. So all of a sudden, Kurtrus isn't an OTK anymore. Again, Druid, every expansion is losing so much with a resizing pouch, guess the weight, the eclipses, all the corrupt package of everything going, Arbor up, incredibly busted card, Cenarian Ward, Umbral. It's just Druid, as someone who loves Druid, is going to be it's gonna be hard to play Druid. I think coming up, they're losing so much stuff. I don't think Guff's gonna matter if you can't play anything, but again, the next expansion might do something about that. Hunter will be losing the Rhino. You don't have to get trampled by that anymore. Rinland's Rifle, as well as Mage losing Biscuit. Paladin loses Oh My Yaga. Cannot wait for that card to no longer be standard. More Libram stuff. And Palm Reading leaving Priest, like Hysteria leaving Warlock and Priest. Rogue losing Swindle and Prize Plunder, Foxy Fraud. So many tools Rogue is losing. I feel like Rogue and Druid are by far going to be the biggest losers coming up, and it's going to be just an incredible rotation. And you look through it, Backfire leaving, again, that basically will effectively help kill off the Demon Seed. Again, unless insane support is provided, and with the flack that quest is received, I would be surprised. The Demon Seed, I don't think is going to be much of a problem. The Hated Ticket is leaving as well, if you despise that card, and it's just going to be an incredible rotation. The closest thing I can think of in terms of power level leaving is like Kobolds and Catacombs and the Frozen Throne. But even if you cycle through, which there are a lot of really good cards from these expansions, they're not at the level of what we're seeing. They're not even close. These cards are so underpowered in comparison to what we saw before that we're not really seeing a lot of these cards seeing play in Wild anymore. They've been all power crept, except for like the Warlock stuff, of course. And even like the Frozen Throne, you talk about the Death Knights being so ridiculous. Most of them don't even see play in Wild anymore as well. So this will be one of the most impactful rotations of all time. The game will literally never be the same again unless they power creep even harder next expansion. But the way they're talking about mass nerfings and the way we've seen power level drop, I'd say a little bit this year, but not a ton. It's possible that maybe we can get back to maybe a more normalized style of Hearthstone, but if you take a look at what's leaving, I'm pretty excited. Like, I'm legitimately excited for the next rotation to see what happens. And again, we're not even talking about the core set, which will have cards leaving and staying as well, and that could impact things a lot. They could basically negate everything if they want. Oh, we're gonna put Secret Passage in the core set, but I would be shocked if any card rotating to Wild is put in the core set. And I just thought it'd be a really interesting look to take a look at the ridiculous power level of cards leaving and how much it's going to open things up in Standard. So if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.